Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a wet welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. I mean, it's not too wet right now, but it was before, so I'm on the rainy road, which is sort of like Rainbow Road, except much less exciting and about as slippery. But you know, despite the fact that the weather is looking down, things are looking very much up. You've read the title, ADRI'S back. Now, it occurs to me that some people might not actually know who ADRI is, if you're one of the newer viewers of the channel. So I guess I'll go over a brief thing of, I guess, you know, what I know him from and what you would know him from. So ADRI, I guess better known as Spartan Gaming or Bat99 at different times. He's gone by a couple of online usernames, but basically he's a childhood friend of mine. So yeah, we actually grew up in Spain together, and you know, most of the time went to the same school. He briefly went to a different school and then came back to the same school from before. And then, and also not only that, but also his family, because there is some, you know, they have some American connections, I suppose I should say, just to be vague about it. You know, they actually even after he left for the first time, turns out that's when our respective parents decided to arrange meetings between us. So I saw more of him for a particular year out of school than I did in the school. And then afterwards, by pure coincidence, as he came back, he was sort of, you know, welcomed immediately into our group, which was a surprise for me, not an unpleasant one. It was a surprise. But yeah. Needless to say, you know, we have a lot of history together. And he also happens to move to the US a couple of years after I moved to the UK. And so, because of that, we kept in contact over Skype first and then Discord. And so during the Discord era is when he was able to interact with some of the people I was meeting via YouTube, and also would become the cause of, well, I guess helped in the cause of me meeting all those people, because you might have guessed it by now, but ADRI is the original voice of Julius Pike from The Music Girl. So yes, neutral person themselves is back. So so that's where you lot would start to know him from. Fittingly enough, actually, he wasn't originally supposed to be Julius. Originally, what happened was, I said, oh, okay, well, you know, since Julius is the lead male, I guess I will probably voice this character. But I was doing the rounds trying to figure out if anyone was interested in any of the voice actors. I'd had the the characters. I had the first episode script already made, and so after that I sent that around, and he seemed to really you know, take a shine to Julius, forgetting what I said before. And so I was like, well, you know what, so be it, why not? I don't mind. Which is just as well, because ADRI'S voice became synonymous with the character for the longest time. I mean the longest time, I mean to this day. I would say that ADRI hasn't voiced Julius in some time. Technically, the last time that that Julius appeared with ADRI'S voice was actually only in December, because that was the Christmas special. But of course, huge technicality there, because that was recorded back in 2020, because we've been trying to make that Christmas special since then. And every year something seemed to happen, until finally I was like, okay, I need this to be out. It was interesting, because it was it was a case that there were some people who, you know, had like left the show, like G-Man, for example. And I had recordings of G-Man as well as Marwick. So technically, like, you know, because it took so long to make, everyone's like final, some people's final recording sessions happened to be that one, or also some of their new ones too, some of the new VAs. So it's a very interesting mixture of new meets old, particularly because, as it's the Christmas special, it was mostly the classic characters that made an appearance. So, with that in mind, yeah, that was that sort of seemed like a bit of a grand finale. And the reason for the grand finale is because I wouldn't be saying that he was back if he hadn't gone anywhere. Like, I'm going downhill right now and I do not want to. Because, yeah, for various reasons that I won't disclose, in January 2020, right before Season 2 of The Mutant Girl was scheduled to begin, because I took January off at that time, because that was the first month I'd ever had since March 2019, where I wasn't working on The Mutant Girl. So, we took that month off, but during that time, he just seemed to stop contacting everyone, and we didn't know why for some time. So yeah, during that absence, obviously, people asked me, because, you know, they knew I you know, I think I have gone through you know, our combined history. It was incredibly obvious to just about anyone that spends more than 2 minutes with us that we've known each other for most of our lives. So because of that, yeah, people will come to me saying, you know, where is he? Where is he? You know, it's kind of like a Where's Anthony, but more, you know, more low-key and focused on one particular person. But yeah, so eventually I did end up voicing Julius temporarily after all, even though that was the original plan. It certainly wasn't my intentional plan. But yeah. What was I going to say? But yeah, during that time, of course, you know, people who had, you know, Leon Tarkshina particularly, for example, because he started off with that group of people, my secondary school friends, he joined in with them, and then afterwards the Mutant Girl cast like formed and everything. So he's really seen like most of that stuff. But after that, yeah, I wasn't able to do much. I did ask, you know, my family if they had any phone numbers for his family, because since they moved, most of the time it's mostly been me contacting and whatever. They also moved again, so blah blah blah. So I was unfortunately unable to do much of anything until April 2020, when Adri actually came back, and you know, and he explained what had happened to him, and you know, why he would not be around as much anymore. And I understood I could have used a little bit more of a heads up, considering, you know, that, you know, it was like a whole like cold turkey situation. But you know, it didn't matter. You know, we all got our friend back. You know, on the YouTube side of things, Julius returns to what people had known him to be, and all seemed well. I'm trying to remember now. It must have been 2022 when Absence number 2 started, and yeah, that one was more of a surprise, because I thought the issue from Absence number 1 had been resolved. So yeah, that was more of a, well, I say more of a shock. It was equally a shock. But yeah, I think by this point, season 2 had wrapped up, and Actually, no, it hadn't. No, because that was when we cast Phantom, actually, during that time. But yeah, that one had a different reason behind it, but I didn't know at the time. So once again, people started coming to me, being like, you know, where's Adri? And I was like, I don't know. It's just same thing. So yeah, I wasn't really sure at the time, and that lasted, yeah, so it might have been late 2021 to mid 2022 actually. Because yeah, like, honestly, it was almost like divine providence him returning that time. Because, you know, I had just, you know, been broken up with. And when I mean just been broken up with, I mean literally like 10 minutes before I got broken up with. So, you know, it seemed like the universe bestowed upon me some sort of reason to, you know, to focus, you know, positive energy onto something else or someone else, you know. Obviously not the same. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, you know, but it was good timing is what I meant to say. And yeah, he explained the reason then, and it seemed fine for some time. He seemed very, very eager to come back and do a bunch of things. I said that I said that I wouldn't be recasting him as Julius, even though I really, really wanted to. But that was only because, you know, by that point, Phantom had already been voicing the character, so I don't... Whenever a voice actor leaves and returns and I haven't recast their character, of course they're going to come back. But if I've recast them, I don't want to be like, oh, well, you know, I said you into the new official role now. I'm going to, you know, kick you out. So, you know, tough cookies or whatever. Yeah, that doesn't really sit well with me. I know that not everyone is, you know, as keen on the Mutant Girl. I know that Phantom particularly has a bunch of other projects in mind. And I still, to this day, don't think he's really caught on to the fact that that neutral is Julius's catchphrase. Because that's another thing, when new VAs don't always tend to watch the old footage back, so they know what's going on with their characters. Which I get, because it's not a common practice in the gacha community, because, you know, not to beat a dead horse or anything, there hasn't been a series that has run on as long as Mutant Girl, and you know, it's a new experience for everyone involved. If anything, for some of them was their first voice acting experience ever. All of the people in Mutant Girl Season 1, or at least like when it debuted, including Adri, had never done voice acting before, except me. I had been cast in some other things before. The Lady Mania stuff happened, you know, like half a year earlier. There's also some talks about a different YouTuber, I think it was called Jewel 200 or something, that was going to cast me in one of his projects at some point, which, you know, talk about long-running series, that was like for season 9 or something. I don't quite remember. But yeah, to my knowledge, that never actually ended up being released, and that's why that's not on my list of things. Although now I think about it, I could actually go and review that series, considering Minecraft is a thing now. We'll get back to it. I'll get back on that one, you know, for later. But yeah, back to the Adri story. So yeah, that reappearance was ultimately a little bit short-lived, because as it turns out, I think I was still in Galicia this whole time, actually. Even before we left Galicia, we had to well, he said that, you know, he actually kind of overestimated things, and he wasn't as prepared to return as possible, so he was going to downscale his communication. And by downscope communication, I thought he meant, like, you know, just going to hang out with people, not going to sort of be involved in so many projects all at once, or, you know, meet so many people or whatever. But yeah, it turns out that meant absence number 3 was around the corner. And this one lasted up until 2 days ago. So it's been almost 2 years of no news. I did get a few where's ADRI'S, but you know, also some how's ADRI'S, because yeah, and unfortunately I was not able to answer either of those ones. So I'm going to make sure I get a contingency contact number from him. I mean, I did. I have a mobile that belongs to you know, someone in his family, and I tried to message him once about potentially, you know, joining us on like the annual, you know, primary school meetup that we do, traveling across, you know, different places. But yeah, I was unsuccessful there. But yeah, it seems that once again he's returned, and he's at least hyper eager to communicate with as many people as possible, you know, recover all, you know, the lost contacts. He's asked me about a couple of people in a role reversal, actually. He's asked me now about some people who asked about him in the past. You know, what have they been up to? Where are they? You know, are they still around and still on Discord? Stuff like that. So there's still plenty of catching up to do. So I imagine the next few days I will most likely be, well, editing lines for Treat Pop, and, you know, still working on the Maddie video. All parts have been recorded, by the way. And also just, you know, catching him up with a bunch of stuff, and, you know, hang out with my childhood friend again. So yeah, I'll probably get back and, you know, see if he's on now, actually. But before I do, one request that I have in this instance, because it seemed like he got too overwhelmed last time, just bear in mind, you know, if anyone's interested in, you know, saying like, oh yeah, let's get involved in this thing or that thing, it's already started to happen because we've talked to Aiden, so you can imagine what that's like. But if anyone wants to get involved in like projects or recordings or something, you know, make sure it's not too many. You know, don't put him down for like, you know, long-running show stuff. I don't think it's going to alleviate necessarily, but I don't want to be like too, you know, overwhelmed, because he overestimated his enthusiasm last time, and the last thing he wants is to have another 2-year absence where everyone's wondering how he's doing. So yeah, just for mainly for his own sake, you know, see how he does for the next you know, week and a half, and then maybe start like gradually talking about that kind of thing. That might change, by the way. He might say, oh hey, I want to do this, that and the other, but just in case, don't bring up too many things all at once, is my request to any people who are keen to meet to meet the person who made Neutral such a long-running joke. But yeah, in any case, to anyone else, let's get some welcome back ADRI'S in the description. You know, ADRI is how you spell that. And if not, we'll, you know, I'll mention that in a stream or something, and, you know, get the messages for him there. But yeah, let's do the comments for here for now. So yeah, those are my requests, apart from the usual. Please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. And subscribe to us already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.